So it's been about 30 years since I've been to Texas. It's something I've been wanting to do here for the last 10 years. And here in a couple of weeks, I won't be able to do it anymore. So I made a run out here to Texas. And we're going to do what I've been wanting to do for a while. Now we'll get into that later on. But first stop here is the Texas Welcome Center, right here at the Texas state line. So how many welcome centers do you know that has a boardwalk in the backyard that goes over a swamp? Not many that I've ever seen. I know one thing. It's 9:30 in the morning right now. I think it's like 85, 87 degrees. With the heat index, it's over 97. It is hot out here and humid, obviously. This is pretty interesting, especially for people that's, I guess you say, out of the area, the Gulf Coast region, I guess you'd say, that's never seen swampland and things like that. Now, I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, so all this is nothing new to me. So if I don't see any wildlife out here, it's no big deal. But I'd sure like to show y'all something if I can see. But definitely interesting stop here when you're coming into Texas. Here's a sign that talks about alligators. And I assume if there's any alligators out right now, they'd probably be under this boardwalk in the shade, or in some deep hole of water cooling off. I know if I was an alligator, that's what I'd be at. But yeah, pretty interesting boardwalk here. Here's an interesting little path through the swamp there as it meanders out for the pretty interesting. Old cypress trees. Yep, I think it's just a little bit too hot out here for any alligators and snakes to be roaming around. In the Welcome Center, I got some of these brochures that'll kind of give you a little bit of insight as to where this trip is going to take me. I also learned that how I was pronouncing these town names is wrong. I thought this was Seguin. No, it's Seguin. I was wrong. But yeah. So let's head on down. See what else we can get into on this Texas adventure. Gotta love it. Heading back to the car, and traffic's starting to back up. Now let's take a look at the Fire Museum of Texas, located here in Beaumont, Texas. And just outside the door of that is the world's largest operating fire hydrant. This was a lot more than I expected to be in here. There is fire trucks and equipment from the early 1900s all the way back into the 1800s here. From horse-drawn, I guess you'd say, fire trucks. And this fire truck was donated in 1964 from President Lyndon B. Johnson. It's a 1915 Type 12 American LaFrance fire truck. Definitely pretty cool. 1917 fire truck. Looks like it's from the city of Orange, Texas, which is not too far away. Definitely pretty interesting if you like fire trucks and firefighting equipment here. And here is a 1926 fire truck from Beaumont, and that's where we're at now. And this looks like it was like a horse-drawn 1856. Wow. It didn't hold a lot of water. And here's a 1923 fire truck. I think it is from the Beaumont Fire Department as well. Here's some old fire extinguishers. Different contraptions to put out fires. And here's that old 1900s fire truck. Let's go take a look at the front of it. It says that ladder is 75 feet tall. Don't know if I want to climb a 75-foot tall wooden ladder, but firemen do some very brave things. I commend them for everything they do. Appreciate everything they do. Automatic repeater. If you know what that was used for, let me know in the comments below. Another switchboard. That's cool. So that was just a quick look at the Fire Museum of Texas. Pretty interesting stop here. Wasn't expecting to have that much fire trucks and stuff. I figured they just have one or two, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Had a little gift shop, and I always try to support the museums any way I can. This is a free museum. They go run off all donations. So bought me a coffee mug and told them they can keep the change. Here in Beaumont, Texas is the 1929 Travis Street Electrical Substation, which is currently the Edison Plaza Museum. Is a museum that has been dedicated to Thomas Alva Edison. Supposedly inside has like 1,400 artifacts and memorabilia of the man Thomas Alva Edison. The museum online is open Monday through Friday from like 10 to 2. It's 10:30, almost 11 o'clock, and they're closed. So I'm gonna have to miss out on this one. That just gives me more time to do my next one. In 1901, the Texas oil boom started when oil was found out here in the area known as Gladys City, or the Spindletop area. Today, it is a museum of the Spindletop Boomtown Museum. It is owned and operated by Lamar University, and it has artifacts in a town kind of depicting the area when the oil boom started. Take a look. So this is like a recreation of the early 1900s boomtown that started here in Beaumont, formerly known as Spindletop. There's different buildings. Wow. That you can go into and see how it was in the early 1900s. Now I believe all these buildings we're going to be able to go into in some part or fashion. All different kinds of buildings out here, from drugstores to post office to the old saloon here and barber shop. So let's go in the barber shop and see what we got. Inside the barber shop is pretty cool. It has some barber chairs, old potbelly stove, a little informational placard that tells you the importance of a barber shop. Get your haircut for 25 cents. Now what's an oil boom town without a saloon? Huh. Next we're going to mosey on over here to the post office. A very basic setup here. Places where you could drop your mail off, buy some money orders, or some stamps if you needed to send a letter off. Oh wow. I guess you could also get clothing and shoes, baby carriages. Look at the old shoes down here. Old school sewing machine. You can fix your clothes up. Really wasn't expecting to see this much here at this museum. Lots and lots of artifacts and, I guess you say, memorabilia maybe? I'll take a look at this old school cash register. Now if you look, it says National. That company is still in production today, and many of you use them every day using self-checkouts and regular checkouts, but they're under the name NCR, National Cash Register. So this is like what I guess we would say a modern day Airbnb would be like. A place you could rest your head after work, get a nap. Could be like a modern day hotel, if you will. A couple different rooms set up in here. Show you kind of how it looked in the early 1900s. Back here was a kitchen where the people could come in and get a hot meal, relax. Look at an old stove there. Old ice box, Mace ice box. So from my understanding, the owners of these businesses would put that second story above their businesses of those rooms, and there's more ways for them to make money. Wow. This is impressive. Absolutely impressive. All the old, well, back then they weren't old. Modern age back then in the early 1900s. Things you needed or buy. pull-behind wagon for kids to ride around in. Come in here, play some checkers with your friend next to the stove. Like a seed planter. Absolutely impressive in here. Canned goods and crackers and breads. Maybe medicines and elixirs, and most importantly, coffee. This is the oil exchange. It's my understanding this is where you would come in and purchase stocks of these numerous oil companies that arose after the oil boom. Beeman's print shop. Now, another not known fact about me, I have a degree in graphic arts and offset printing. I guess my profession was not anymore, was offset printing and press design and web design and things like that, but the cards didn't lay down for me to continue with that, but I have actually set up and used letterpress such as so. That round thing would be full of ink, and this plate right here would be paper, and it would come up, a roller would come up, ink that black piece right there, and the paper would be pressed onto it, and that's where you would get your flyer or whatever you were printing. It's a very, very time-consuming process. And this is the photographer views of Spindletop. You should come in here and get your pictures taken. Send off to your loved ones. Oh wow, look at all these old cameras. Early 1900 cameras. Wow. Absolutely impressive. Was not expecting to see all this here. Film reels. Vest pocket. Autographic from Kodak. 1902 to 1916. This is absolutely extremely impressive here, of all the cameras. Look at these cameras and such. This is just, I've never seen this many old school cameras from the early 1900s in one place. I'm sure there's places that have more, but I've never seen anything of this magnitude. And next we're going to go into the T.A. Lamb & Sons printers. Alright y'all, this is extremely impressive. This is another print shop with a paper cutter there, binding machine, printer's devil. Not sure what that's for. There's another letterpress machine. Now a lot of these letterpress machines were made in Germany. I'm not sure where these were made from, but a lot of them are made in Germany, Gutenberg, I believe. See all the letterpress trays. These trays would sit in drawers. You pull them out. You have different logos and things like that that you would use. Definitely interesting seeing that, I guess my background. Totally different time back then. Let's go in here and take a look at the drugstore. Maybe get us a milkshake and see the doctor. get you a milkshake or ice cream sundae or a soda. That's where the term soda jerk came from, as they would jerk the handle of the soda spigots there, making the bubbles or whatever it did. I don't remember, but yeah, you can see all the different flavorings and elixirs. You got sassafras back there, make you a root beer. And here's the doctor's office. So if you got an ailment, you can come in here and see the doctor, and hopefully he gets you fixed up. Looks like a X-ray machine back there in the back, and some eye equipment there, old wheelchair, and hopefully you didn't have to use that thing, because that looks like an operating table and a bedpan. Yeah, old hurricane lamps. Have no clue what that's for. If you know what that's for, let me know. Looks like a breathing machine or something. I don't know. That's crazy. Nelson and White Engineers. This company was the first company that commercially drafted the map of the whole Spindletop area. And this is kind of like their office, home office, if you will. Shows you a map right there on the wall of Gladys City. Some of the measuring tools and devices that they used. Transoms, I believe that's what that's called. The old phone on the wall there, that's cool. And this building is Southern Carriage Works. And this company was actually operating right up until 1972, they're saying. So let's go in here and see what they were doing. Doing the oil boom, the early 1900s. Wow, it's like a blacksmith shop. Not well sure how this is going to show up on camera. There we go. Wow, I've been to a couple of actual operating blacksmith shops, and I believe this one, certain days of the year, they actually have blacksmiths in here demonstrating and making things for the public to come in and see. Unfortunately, they're not here today, but place to heat up the steel, iron, or whatever they were making it with. And there's no air conditioning in this building, and they're not doing any blacksmithing right now, and it's quite warm in here. I bet you it got really hot whenever they're doing the blacksmithing. And this is the Broussard's Undertaker livery and boarding stable. So you could get your horses boarded and have a funeral at the same time. Oh wow. Lots of wagons and accessories and tack that was used with horses. There's even some drilling rig bits down there. You can see, if I can get zoomed in on them, there we go. Those were some of the bits that may have been used out here during the oil boom. On the other side here is the mortuary, funeral home. It's crazy. Shows some old pine caskets, from very basic there to moving on up to a little bit more fancier to kind of modern day, I guess you'd say. And the company that this started out as is still going in business. I believe this is one of the few companies outside of some of the old businesses that started. This is still operating as Broussard's Mortuary and Funeral Home. So a lot of these things is the predecessor to their company. It's still going today. It's an interesting look here at the Gladys City Spindletop Boomtown reenactment or recreation town. Way more than I thought it was going to be, and well worth the $5. So I made it out here to Kemah, Texas at the Days Inn. Nice hotel, but I think I got the greatest view I've ever had in any hotel room. Yep. It's a broadside of a barn, it looks like. Kidding me? Oh well. So I've been wanting to come here to the Kima Boardwalk for quite a while now. Not to ride the carousel, not to ride the Ferris wheel, to ride this, the Boardwalk Bullet. Now the Kima Boardwalk is an entertainment district right here on the water here, owned by the Landry's company that owns Landry's Seafood, Bubba Gump, Saltgrass, probably a couple other restaurants that they own. This is a big entertainment area and dining area we're going to take a look at today. So for like $31 you can get an all-day pass, ride all the rides you want all day. I think this park closes at 10 o'clock. So I'm looking forward to some night rides here in the old Boardwalk Bullet. Wow, this whole thing just shook like crazy. Alright, got a front row seat. I'll tell you right now, that is a severely underrated roller coaster. That thing was crazy. How it ran in and out. I mean, look at this. There's two tracks right here above our heads. There's a track down there. Literally, this thing is severely underrated. Probably top 5 wooden coaster I've ever ridden. Love it. Can't wait for some night rides. Alright, just rode the back seat, and that was just about violent. Back seat, probably top 3 wooden roller coasters. I don't like heights. So, yeah, definitely don't like heights. Well, I really had a good time here at the Kima Boardwalk. Didn't get to ride everything. Probably should have got here a little bit earlier. Didn't realize it was going to be this busy here. The Boardwalk Bullet was amazing. Got about 5-6 rides on it. Back row at night is just about violently great. It just is great. Amazing roller coaster. If you ever get a chance to ride it, come ride it. How about the world's largest gas station? The Buc-ees just opened up here not too long ago in Louisville, Texas. How many gas pumps they have here? A lot. Stand out in the middle of the road for some reason. Absolutely massive, massive, massive gas. That is a lot of barbecue sauce. And this right here is the main reason for my Texas adventure. This is the world's first and only wooden shuttle coaster in the world. The year's 2007, when Danny and Sarah Donhauser opened ZDT's Amusement Park here in Seguin, Texas, named after the three children, Zach, Danielle, and Tiffany. Now in 2015, they opened what you see there, coming to frame now, is the world's first and only wooden shuttle coaster. Now, on August 18th, this park is closing. Danny and Sarah are retiring, and all the rides, fixtures, amusement park, games, everything is for sale, including the switchback roller coaster, which I'm going to ride until I get sick of it. Alright, just got off the world's only wooden shuttle coaster. And that was a pretty darn good ride. Rode in the back seat. A little bumpy. I loved every minute of it. In fact, let's go again. Well, I had a pretty good time here at ZDT's amusement park. I hate to see any amusement park close down, especially the mom and pop ones, especially ones with such an amazing roller coaster such as the Switchback. But yeah, hopefully somebody buys it, gets a good home. Speaking of home, I got a 9-hour trip back to the house.